In the early 18th century, Britain was on the verge of monumental change. Amidst political unrest and a growing desire for reform, a man rose to power who would shape the very nature of the British government. That man was Sir Robert Walpole, often hailed as the first true Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Serving from 1721 to 1742, Walpole's influence reached far beyond his years in office. His tenure marked the transformation of the British political landscape, laying the groundwork for modern parliamentary democracy. Known for his political acumen and ability to navigate the complex webs of British politics, Walpole's leadership extended beyond mere governance. His era was defined by economic stability, the consolidation of Britain's power in international trade, and the strengthening of the parliamentary system. Under his rule, the cabinet began to solidify its role in government, and the office of Prime Minister started to gain the prominence it holds today. Yet his leadership was not without controversy. Despite his achievements, Walpole's policies and the methods by which he maintained power often faced harsh criticism. But his contributions to the United Kingdom's development cannot be overstated. To understand the modern political world, we must first look back at the man who helped shape it. The political landscape of Britain in the early 18th century was vastly different from what we know today. The country was still in the midst of its transformation from a monarchy that had long dominated political affairs to a system where the influence of Parliament began to take centre stage. It was during this period of political flux that Sir Robert Walpole came to power. His tenure as Prime Minister from 1721 to 1742 not only marked the dawn of a new political era, but also laid the foundation for many of the political structures we rely on today. Walpole's time in office is often regarded as the starting point for the modern office of the Prime Minister, even though the title itself had not yet been officially recognized. Robert Walpole was born on August 26, 1776, in Norfolk, England. His early life was marked by his education at Eton College and then Cambridge University. Walpole's rise to political prominence came through his family connections. His father was a prominent local politician, and his uncle was the first to pave the way for Walpole's entry into the political arena. After inheriting his father's seat in Parliament in 1701, Walpole's political career began to flourish. He quickly became known for his skill in debating and for navigating the often treacherous waters of British politics. His early career was characterized by his alignment with the Whig Party, and he steadily rose through the ranks due to his sharp political mind and his ability to forge strategic alliances. Walpole's political career truly began to take off in the early 18th century, during the reign of King George I. The Whig Party, which Walpole was a member of, was in power at this time. The Whigs were generally in favour of a strong parliamentary system and were supportive of the Hanoverian succession, which had brought King George I to the throne. It was under these circumstances that Walpole, as a member of the Whig Party, started to rise to prominence. Walpole's breakthrough moment came in 1715 when he was appointed First Lord of the Treasury, a position that made him the leader of the cabinet. This was an important step in his political career, as it placed him in charge of Britain's financial matters. It was here that Walpole's unique blend of political savvy and financial acumen began to shine. In 1721, following a period of instability within the government, Walpole was able to secure the role of First Lord of the Treasury and become what we now recognize as the first true Prime Minister. At the time, the role of Prime Minister was not formally established, and the office did not have the power and prominence it would later acquire. However, Walpole's long tenure and his influence on British politics cemented his position as the de facto leader of the government. One of Walpole's greatest strengths was his ability to maintain stability and control over a deeply divided political system. His method of governance was pragmatic. He knew how to manage both the political elite and public opinion. Walpole's strategy involved gaining the support of key political figures and ensuring that his party, the Whigs, remained in power. He often worked behind the scenes, negotiating with powerful figures in Parliament to secure his policies and initiatives. Walpole's leadership was also defined by his use of patronage. By rewarding loyal supporters with government positions and other forms of patronage, he created a network of loyal allies who helped him maintain his power. This practice of patronage was often criticized, but it was a key component of Walpole's political strategy. Despite his reliance on patronage, Walpole was also a skilled legislator. He managed to pass several important pieces of legislation during his time in office, including reforms that helped stabilize the British economy and further solidified the power of Parliament. Walpole's tenure is particularly noted for his financial reforms he implemented, which brought stability to Britain after a period of political and economic turmoil. One of the major challenges that Walpole faced was the national debt, which had spiraled out of control in the wake of the War of Spanish Succession. Walpole implemented a series of financial measures to address this issue, including the creation of a sinking fund that allowed the government to gradually pay down its debt. Walpole's fiscal policies helped stabilize the British economy, which had been suffering from inflation and a lack of confidence in the national financial system. By implementing reforms that reduced the national debt and brought greater financial stability, Walpole helped secure Britain's position as a leading global economic power. Another key aspect of Walpole's economic strategy was his promotion of trade. During his time as Prime Minister,